Yeah, let me just give you that team news now, Tom, as Manchester United prepare for their opener at the KCOM against Hull City this weekend. And we can see Michael Carrick's side out there now at Carrington. First of all, Marcus Rashford back in United training as he has been since rejoining the squad in Dublin around 10 days ago or so. To give you that team news though, what is positive, we go to this other group on the right, we can actually see Benjamin Sesko and Matthijs De Ligt, which I think will please a lot of Manchester United fans to see them back in a rondo and a bit more physical contact training. Benjamin Sesko, he hasn't featured in pre-season after recovering from a shin injury. He was out there in Dublin to be with his teammates, team bonding, etc. But also Matthijs De Ligt, who hasn't featured for Manchester United in this calendar year. He really has suffered with a back injury over the last 6 or 7 months or so. But to see him back in team training is a huge positive for Michael Carrick, especially with the centre backs. They're all at different levels of fitness. When you think Lisandro Martinez has only just come back as well, Aidan Heaven, Harry Maguire, who we can see back in this first group. I just spoke to Harry Maguire in the last hour or so. He seemed in really positive spirits, Tom, about the new season, about the camaraderie in this group. As you can see just behind him as well, Marcus Rashford is of course a big story as well.
Well, he is actually. We were talking about it in the last hour, but on his future, would you right now be more surprised to see him leave or more surprised to see him stay and play?
I think I'd go with the first option, Tom, and obviously very respectful that he is about 10 feet in front of me. So, speculating about his future is, probably not what he wants to hear. But look, I think he is a Manchester United player. We spoke to Michael Carrick about that last week, and he's very much part of Manchester United's plans. To answer your question plainly, I would be very surprised if he wasn't in a Manchester United shirt as we're speaking and as I'm aware of the situation right now. I'd be very surprised if he wasn't in a Manchester United shirt after the deadline. But let's not forget, this is Marcus Rashford, who, we can speculate and talk about his future, but he has scored 87 Premier League goals for this club. He's about 10 away from being in the top 10 top goal scorers in the club's history, by the way, as well. And look, I just think, for any England fan, Manchester United fan, they just want to see Marcus Rashford back enjoying his football in a United shirt. I speak to so many fans, spoke to a lot in Dublin as well. Look, I think there are mixed feelings about maybe needing to make it up a little bit, but other than that, I think they're very excited to see him back at Old Trafford in a United shirt. And also, just purely talking about football, and hopefully Jamie agrees, Tom, that he's very different to what they have at the moment, by the way, in terms of being a direct threat on that left, very different to Patrick Dorgu, Matthias Cunha, and of course he can play through the middle as well, and he's probably in between, when you think profile, between Benjamin Sesko and Brian Mbeumo and Matthias Cunha, who can all play that role. He's probably someone who can be in between those players. So look, he will be an asset for Michael Carrick. He's been very positive about him so far, and to answer your question again, be very surprised if he's not in a Manchester United shirt past the deadline.
I think they need him, Daniel. I think when you look at the players that they've got, I think you're absolutely right. I think he's a player who can offer him something. I just think, if it wasn't for the whole fact that he left and the way he left and the kind of era felt like it was going to come to an end, if you said to a Manchester United fan, without the history of Rashford at Man United, you said you got Rashford this season, they'd be absolutely buzzing. He's a great player to have in the team. I just think it's because he's been there for such a long time and, it felt like maybe they were moving on from him. But I think he's a fantastic player. And he could have a big season for Man United.
Yeah, absolutely, Jamie, I agree. And look, I think we only have about 20, 30 seconds left of open training. But just to finish on, I think when you look at this Manchester United team, the attacking options they have are brilliant. I mean, you also have the young Shea Lacey just behind Marcus Rashford, who's going to be a first-team player this season. He's a very exciting talent. Of course, Brian Mbeumo, Ahmad have both looked electric in pre-season, almost reborn. I think they looked a little tired at the end of last season, but they look rejuvenated. So I think the positives are the front of the team look very, very good. I think the gaps are in midfield and at left back, and that's something the club will be looking to address in the next 10 days or so. But that's a bit of us, Tom. We'll leave you now with some last remaining shots of Manchester United Open training this morning.
Yeah, Daniel, thank you.